In the vast reaches of space, where countless stars flickered like distant candles, many civilizations thrived, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. Among these countless species, stories often traveled fast warnings and legends about the humans of Earth. Some called them reckless, others unpredictable, and a few whispered that the humans carried a hidden fire, a rage that could shake the foundations of the universe. But for most, these warnings were just rumors, dismissed as exaggerations or fear-mongering. The Galactic Council, a powerful group governing the relations between species, had long debated humanity's place among the stars. Earth was young in the galactic community, still learning the ways of peace and diplomacy, but also showing signs of stubbornness and fierce independence. Some council members believed humans could be an ally, others saw them as a potential threat. The truth was unclear, and curiosity pushed many to keep watching Earth closely. On Earth, life continued mostly unaware of the galactic whispers. Cities bustled with energy. People lived their lives with hopes, dreams, and fears, just like any other species. But beneath the surface, humanity was changing. Technology grew rapidly, and with it came a renewed sense of pride and strength. Human military, once focused on defense, began to prepare for something larger, a challenge no one yet understood fully. Meanwhile, distant alien worlds watched Earth with mixed feelings. Some envied its resilience, others feared its unpredictable nature. The humans had a history marked by conflict, but also by survival against impossible odds. Many believed that if provoked, humans would respond not with caution, but with overwhelming force. And so the warnings spread quietly: beware the human rage. Do not underestimate their fury. These warnings were mostly ignored. Many species were caught up in their own wars and politics. Earth seemed too small, too disorganized to be a real threat. Yet some alien scouts and spies watched carefully, sending reports back to their leaders. The reports spoke of a species ready to fight when pushed, a species that did not forget old wounds and had a deep, burning will to survive. Then, a small incident changed everything. On a remote mining colony in a nearby star system, human workers clashed with alien supervisors over harsh conditions and unfair treatment. The dispute was meant to be handled quietly, but it escalated quickly. One of the alien supervisors insulted a human worker in front of others. The worker's anger ignited, and soon a fight broke out. What could have been a minor scuffle turned into a full riot. Human workers fought fiercely, their rage driving them beyond reason. The aliens were shocked by the humans' violence, which was raw and unrelenting. News of the riot reached Earth's leaders. Instead of punishing the workers, the government demanded better conditions and respect for its citizens, making it clear that human dignity was not to be taken lightly. This response sent ripples through the galaxy. Humans would protect their own. No matter the cost, alien leaders began to whisper behind closed doors. They discussed humanity's unpredictable fury and what it could mean if humans were truly cornered. But many still hoped peace could prevail. On Earth, the military increased training and weapons development. Soldiers drilled day and night, preparing for a war they hoped never came. Scientists worked on new railguns, plasma shields, and faster ships. The world was on edge, caught between hope for peace and fear of conflict. Then came the first official contact. An alien delegation arrived on Earth's orbit. They brought messages of friendship and cooperation, promising peace and mutual respect. Earth welcomed them cautiously, but openly. The people hoped this was the start of a new era, but old fears lingered. The alien ambassadors moved with a strange calm, their eyes watching everything carefully. Some humans sensed that beneath their smiles was something hidden, something waiting in the halls of power. Earth's leaders debated. Should they trust the aliens? Was peace possible? Or was this just the calm before the storm? Suddenly, communication lines flickered and went dark. Strange signals were detected near Earth's outer defenses. Satellites recorded unidentified. Ships moving silently, too close, too fast. The warnings became reality. Alien warships attacked a remote human research station without warning. The attack was sudden and brutal. The humans defending the station were overwhelmed, but fought fiercely. Explosions rocked the station as it was destroyed. Survivors sent desperate messages begging for help. Earth's military responded immediately. Ships scrambled to defend the planet, but the enemy's speed and technology were unlike anything humans had faced. The battle in space was fierce and deadly. The galaxy watched in shock. The peace talks were over before they truly began. The rumors of human rage were about to be tested. The aliens believed they could strike first and crush humanity quickly. They thought humans would panic, surrender, or be too weak to fight back. They were wrong. Human commanders rallied their forces. Soldiers and pilots prepared for a war they never wanted but were ready to fight. Railguns roared, plasma shields flared, and human ships moved with precision and courage. The first strike back was devastating. Human railguns punched holes in enemy armor, shattering their ships and forcing retreats. Human fighters showed bravery and skill beyond what many in the galaxy expected. The battle was only the beginning. As the war unfolded, humans revealed a side that the galaxy had feared but never truly understood: the unstoppable force of human rage, a force that burned with the memories of old battles, the pain of lost loved ones, and the fierce will to survive. The warnings had been ignored for too long. Now, the galaxy would see why they feared humanity's wrath. The attack on the remote research station was just the spark, but it ignited a fire that no one could stop. Humans were not just survivors. They were warriors born of struggle, molded by centuries of hardship and conflict. When the enemy struck, they did not retreat or surrender. Instead, they answered with a force so fierce, it shocked the galaxy. Earth's defenses rallied quickly. The skies above the planet became a battlefield filled with streaks of light from railguns and plasma beams. Human pilots, trained under pressure and hardship, took to their fighters with grim determination. Every hit they scored was a message. Humanity would not be broken. The enemy warships were advanced and deadly, their shields glowing with a strange energy that seemed almost invincible. But human weapons, crafted with relentless innovation and raw power, found weak spots. Railgun slugs tore through armor plates, plasma blasts ignited engine cores, and missiles struck critical systems. As space battles raged, ground forces prepared for the worst. Earth's cities turned into fortresses. Citizens trained for emergencies, ready to defend their homes or evacuate if necessary. Broadcasts from commanders inspired hope and resilience. The message was clear: humanity would fight for every inch of their world. The enemy underestimated the humans' fighting spirit. They expected a quick war, one-sided and easy to win. But humans fought not just with weapons, but with rage and desperation. Memories of past invasions, lost lives, and the deep need to protect their planet fueled every soldier's action. The first major battle in Earth's orbit lasted hours. Each moment filled with chaos and courage. Human ships dodged deadly blasts, returned fire with precision, and saved their comrades when possible. Some pilots became heroes, their names whispered in command centers and homes alike. One such pilot, Captain Jackson, led daring raids that tore enemy formations apart. His skill and fearless attitude inspired others to keep fighting no matter the cost. On the enemy side, commanders grew frustrated. Their weapons and technology were strong, but humans' unpredictable fury was a challenge. The aliens had studied humans for years, but nothing prepared them for this raw power. Reports came in of enemy ships retreating or surrendering after facing relentless human attacks. But humans did not become careless. They knew this was only the beginning. The enemy had secrets, new weapons, and alliances waiting in the shadows. Every victory was hard-fought, and every loss was felt deeply. One of the darkest moments came when an alien dreadnought, a massive warship bristling with weapons, unleashed a devastating blast that wiped out a human supply convoy. The loss was great, and the survivors faced the brutal reality of war. But even then, humanity's rage did not fade. It only grew. Back on Earth, scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to improve weapons and defenses. Railguns were upgraded to fire faster and hit harder. Shields grew stronger. New fighters were designed for speed and stealth. Every breakthrough gave humans a better chance to push back the enemy. Among civilians, stories of bravery spread. Families told their children about soldiers who stood firm in the face of death. Communities supported each other, sharing resources and strength. The war was not just fought by armies, it was fought by every human heart. Amid the chaos, spies and intelligence officers uncovered shocking information. The enemy had formed alliances with other hostile species, combining fleets and weapons to overwhelm humanity. The war was no longer just between humans and one alien race. It was a battle against an entire coalition determined to destroy Earth. This knowledge made the fight even more urgent. Humans prepared for a long war, one that would test every limit of endurance, courage, and rage. And rage was exactly what the enemy feared most. The unpredictable human fury that no technology could stop. The galaxy began to realize that humanity's rage was not just anger, it was survival, determination, and an unbreakable will to protect their own. As battles continued, the enemy started to question their strategy. Could they really defeat a species that fought with such relentless passion? Or had they unleashed a force they could never control? The answer was still unknown. One thing was certain: the war had changed. The humans had shown their true strength, and the universe was watching with growing fear. The fire was unleashed, and it would burn bright until the final battle was won. The enemy had believed themselves clever, thinking humans were wild but weak. They saw Earth as a fragile world, easy to crush with superior weapons and numbers. But their mistake was fatal. They had never truly faced human rage. Not the kind that was fueled by history, pride, and unyielding spirit. This battle would teach them that lesson the hard way. Across distant battlefields in space and on war-torn colonies, humans fought like nothing the galaxy had seen before. Every strike was precise and full of anger. Every defense was unyielding and fierce. The alien commanders sent wave after wave of ships, believing sheer force would break human resistance. Yet each time, humans pushed back harder, deep inside Earth's command centers. Leaders monitored the battles, adjusting tactics and encouraging their forces. They understood that brute strength alone would not win this war. Instead, cunning, strategy, speed, and the indomitable human will were their greatest weapons. On one of the outer colonies, a small human unit found itself surrounded by overwhelming enemy troops. The humans were outnumbered and outgunned, but surrender was not an option. Using knowledge of the terrain and quick thinking, the soldiers set traps, ambushed enemy patrols, and held their ground with stubborn determination. They're unexpected. Resistance delayed the enemy's advance and gave Earth's fleets more time to prepare. Meanwhile, intelligence teams intercepted secret enemy plans. The aliens were coordinating a massive strike aimed at Earth's key defense stations. If successful, it would cripple human defenses and open the way for a full invasion. The humans knew what they had to do. They sent elite strike teams deep into enemy territory to sabotage ships, disrupt supply lines, and gather critical information. These missions were dangerous, often behind enemy lines with little chance of rescue. Yet the soldiers accepted the risk. Knowing the survival of their species depended on their success, one such mission uncovered a shocking secret. The enemy was experimenting with bioweapons, deadly viruses designed to target humans specifically. The news spread like wildfire, fueling human rage and resolve. The enemy was willing to use any means to win, even if it meant destroying all life on Earth. Back on Earth, scientists raced against time to develop cures and defenses against these biological threats. The work was exhausting, filled with failures and breakthroughs, but every small victory was a step closer to survival. The enemy's mistakes mounted. They failed to understand the depth of human loyalty to family, friends, and homeland. This loyalty made humans fight harder, sacrifice more, and never give up. The turning point came during a massive space battle near the edge of the solar system. Enemy fleets, confident and aggressive, attacked a vital human outpost. The battle was brutal. Explosions lit up the void, and ships burned like shooting stars. Yet the humans refused to back down. Commander Lee, seasoned leader known for his tactical genius and calm under fire, led a daring counterattack. Using smaller, faster ships equipped with railguns, his fleet pierced enemy lines, striking at the heart of their formation. The enemy flagship was crippled, forcing a retreat that surprised even the humans themselves. Victory was not complete. But it was a sign that the enemy had underestimated human fury and paid dearly for it. The galaxy began to take notice. Messages flew between systems, spreading stories of human bravery, cunning, and relentless rage. Some species reconsidered their alliances, fearing the consequences of fighting alongside the enemy. Others quietly offered aid or sanctuary to humans, hoping to survive the coming storm. Yet despite these successes, the war remained far from over. The enemy would regroup, develop new weapons, and return stronger. The humans knew this, and they prepared accordingly. Every battle taught new lessons, every loss hardened their resolve. The rage that the enemy feared was no longer a secret. It was a force that united humans across planets and colonies. It was the fire that would burn until the enemy was driven back or destroyed. The enemy had made their mistake. They had awakened a force that would not rest, would not surrender, and would not be broken, and the galaxy would never forget the day humanity showed its true fury. The war was no longer just a fight for survival. It had become a brutal test of wills. Humans had shown their fury, and now that rage ruled the battlefield. The galaxy had witnessed small sparks of human anger before, but now it was a wildfire, consuming everything in its path. The enemy forces felt it deeply, their confidence shaken by human determination and unyielding spirit. On Earth, the mood was tense but resolute. Cities braced for possible attacks and citizens trained as reserves ready to defend their home. At any cost, leaders held meetings that lasted late into the night, planning every possible move. They understood that their rage was powerful, but it could also be dangerous if uncontrolled. Discipline was key. Human scientists revealed new secret weapons, designed in the shadows of war and necessity. Railguns were faster and deadlier. Plasma cannons burned through enemy shields, and advanced defense systems protected critical installations. Every breakthrough was a weapon forged from the fire of human rage and hope. The battlefield stretched from the icy moons of the outer planets to the crowded spaceports near Earth's orbit. Fleets clashed in explosions that lit the darkness like stars being born and dying in moments. Ground troops fought in ruined cities, navigating rubble and danger while pushing back the enemy's advances. Amid this chaos, heroes emerged, ordinary humans who showed extraordinary courage, soldiers risking everything to protect their comrades, pilots daring to face impossible odds, scientists working tirelessly to keep the war machines running. Their stories spread across radio waves and messages, giving hope to millions. But rage also brought challenges. Some human leaders feared that fury might lead to reckless decisions. Could anger blind them to strategy? Could the desire for revenge endanger the very survival they fought to protect? These questions haunted command centers as they balanced emotion with reason. The enemy tried to exploit this. They spread rumors and false information, hoping to divide humans and turn anger against itself. But the humans remained united. Their rage focused on a single goal: defend their home and win the war. One of the most devastating battles took place near the asteroid belts. The enemy deployed a massive dreadnought, a warship built to break through any defense. It fired beams of energy that cut through human ships, destroying entire squadrons. The dreadnought's size and firepower were terrifying, but humans refused to surrender. A daring plan was formed. A squadron of stealth fighters, led by Captain Jackson, was tasked with infiltrating the dreadnought's defenses. They would disable its weapons and shields from the inside, giving the main fleet a chance to strike. The mission was dangerous. Many thought it was suicide. The squadron slipped through the enemy lines under the cover of darkness. Inside the dreadnought, fierce battles erupted between human boarding parties and alien crews. Explosions shook the massive ship as fighters worked to destroy weapon systems and disable engines. Captain, Jackson's team faced relentless resistance, but their rage and training pushed them forward. They knew the survival of Earth depended on their success. After hours of brutal fighting, they succeeded in crippling the dreadnought. With its defenses down, human fleets unleashed a massive assault, destroying the enemy warship and forcing the remaining fleet to retreat. It was a crushing blow to the enemy and a powerful symbol of human rage and resilience. But victory came with cost. Many brave fighters did not return. Their sacrifice was honored across Earth and its colonies. Memorials were built, stories told, and their rage passed on as a legacy of courage. Even as the war continued, humanity's rage showed no signs of fading. It became a force that united people across planets and species who chose to stand with Earth. The rage was not mindless. Fury, it was a burning determination to survive, protect loved ones, and fight for a future free from fear. The galaxy was changing. Those who once underestimated humans now reconsidered. The species they feared for their rage had become a beacon of strength and hope. And as the battles raged on, one truth was clear: humanity's rage would not be stopped. What a storm that would reshape the stars. The war had dragged on for years, each battle carving scars into Earth and the hearts of its people. Humanity's rage had burned fiercely, but the enemy was relentless, growing stronger with every defeat. The galaxy watched with bated breath, wondering if the humans could hold their ground or if their fury would finally be broken. A new threat loomed on the horizon, an alliance of alien races, united in fear of humanity's unstoppable force. They combined their fleets, technology, and cunning into a deadly coalition designed to crush Earth once and for all. This alliance brought weapons and tactics humans had never faced before, forcing them into a desperate struggle. The Coalition's flagship, a monstrous warship known as the Shadow Titan, arrived near Earth's orbit. It was unlike anything the galaxy had seen, massive, heavily armed, and shielded with technology that defied understanding. The Shadow Titan was a symbol of the enemy's resolve, a promise that they would stop at nothing to end human resistance. Earth's leaders convened emergency councils, planning for what could be the final battle. The human fleet was smaller, but fueled by rage and a will to survive that no machine could match. Scientists worked feverishly to develop new weapons, while soldiers trained harder than ever, knowing the coming fight would decide the fate of their species. Captain Jackson, now a legend among humans, prepared his squadron for the most dangerous mission yet. Their goal was to infiltrate the Shadow Titan, disable its shields, and open the way for the fleet to strike. It was a near-suicide mission, but one that could turn the tide of the war. As the battle began, the skies around Earth lit up with energy blasts and explosions. Fighters darted through enemy fire, and massive ships exchanged devastating blows. The human fleet fought with everything they had, every ship piloted by those who knew this might be their last fight inside the Shadow Titan. Captain Jackson's team faced brutal resistance. Alien soldiers fought with desperation, knowing their world depended on victory. Humans pushed forward, their rage fueling every strike. Explosions rocked the ship as the team sabotaged weapon systems and worked to bring down the massive shields. Outside, human fleets suffered heavy losses. Ships were destroyed, and lives were lost. But the sacrifice was not in vain. As the Shadow Titan's shields flickered and failed, the human fleet unleashed a torrent of firepower that crippled the enemy flagship. The enemy coalition's forces began to falter. Without the Shadow Titan's protection, their fleets lost coordination and morale. Human ships pressed the advantage, pushing the enemy back from Earth's doorstep, but the cost was great. Entire squadrons were wiped out, and many of Earth's cities lay in ruins. The people mourned their dead, but the rage that had fueled the fight remained unbroken. Amid the ruins, a new hope grew. Humans had faced their greatest challenge and survived. The tide of war had turned, and with it came the promise of peace. Yet, even in victory, the leaders knew the enemy might still strike again. The war had changed the galaxy forever, and humanity's rage would continue to shape the stars. The battle was not just a fight for survival, it was a statement. they had been. Feared on, they had proved why. The war had reached its climax. Earth was scarred and battered, but the human spirit blazed brighter than ever. The enemy had thrown everything they had to crush humanity's rage. But the final battle would prove who truly ruled the stars. As fleets gathered in the void, the silence before the storm was deafening. The vast armada of enemies, desperate and furious, advanced on Earth one last time. Their weapons were more powerful, their numbers greater, but humans were ready. They had learned from every battle, every loss, every moment of fury. Their rage was tempered by experience, their hearts steady despite the storm. In Earth's command center, leaders and generals worked tirelessly, planning with precision. The stakes could not be higher. This was a fight for survival, for freedom, for the future of humanity. The soldiers, pilots, and civilians alike knew the price of failure. But no one wavered. Captain Jackson stood among his squadron, calm but fierce. His eyes reflected the weight of the war, the lives lost, and the hope yet to be won. He gave the order, and the fighters surged forward, slicing through the blackness with deadly speed. The battle erupted instantly. Energy blasts lit the void. Explosions tore ships apart, and the screams of dying machines echoed through space. The enemy fought viciously, determined to end humanity's rage once and for all. But humans fought harder. Every pilot knew what was at stake. Every soldier was fueled by memories of home, loved ones, and the unyielding will to survive. The enemy unleashed their deadliest weapon on planet-crushing energy beam aimed straight at Earth. It was designed to wipe out all life in a single strike. The galaxy held its breath. Yet, humans had anticipated this. Shield arrays powered by the latest technology flared to life, absorbing the blast and redistributing its energy. The beam's fury bounced back, striking the enemy fleet's command ship, causing a catastrophic chain reaction. The enemy flagship exploded in a brilliant fireball, shattering their formation and sending shockwaves through their ranks. Chaos erupted among the enemy forces. Seizing the moment, humans launched a relentless counterattack. Their rage, sharpened by years of war, became unstoppable. Enemy ships were destroyed one after another. Fighters battled in close combat, boarding enemy vessels and fighting hand-to-hand. On the ground, humanity's defenders pushed back every invasion attempt. Cities were battlefields, but the people refused to surrender. Resistance fighters sabotaged enemy supplies, rallied civilians, and fought with fierce determination. Hours turned into days. The war's final chapter was brutal and exhausting. But humans never stopped. Their rage was not just anger, it was hope, courage, and the will to protect all they loved. Finally, as the last enemy ship fled into the darkness, Earth and its allies stood victorious. The cost was high, countless lives lost, cities destroyed, and scars that would last for generations. But humanity had survived, stronger and wiser. In the aftermath, leaders pledged to build a future of peace, forged by the fires of war, but not consumed by them. The galaxy would never forget the day humanity's rage changed the course of history. They had been feared, and they had proved why. The stars were theirs now, and the story of humanity's wrath had only just begun.